The first memory I have of The Legend of Zelda was watching this green-cladded hero wash ashore after his ship was torn asunder by lightning. In a dentist waiting room, the Game Boy that sat on the table for kids like me served as a portal into what is now one of my favorite franchises of all time. I love going to the dentist for this reason, as I couldn't wait to get back to the quiet comfort of Mabe Village and the warm sands below. I never got much further than the beach before being pulled into my appointment, but that brief escape stayed with me and instilled wonder in my young mind. Since then, The Legend of Zelda has remained a constant in my life, and I often find myself running to this fantastical world when life starts moving too fast. Link's Awakening is often forgotten in the pantheon of Zelda games. Being sandwiched between A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, and being on considerably less powerful hardware, resulted in the game being underappreciated by the community. Luckily, the remake has brought attention back to this forgotten classic. The Game Boy Color era holds a simple charm. The 8-bit graphics in Link's Awakening and the Oracle series allows the player's imagination to actualize the sprites in the game. The in-game artwork serves as an enhancing companion to the simplified graphic style. The introduction of the Roc's Feather revolutionized the standard for 2D Zelda world traversal. These games also started the iconic trading sequence that would become a common feature of future games. Even with these aspects, the games firmly remain in the shadow of the monument that is Ocarina of Time. However, where the gameplay innovation falters, the engrossing story fills that space in Link's Awakening. To fully grasp the themes of this narrative, we must first look at the Zelda timeline. Link's Awakening is the penultimate adventure for Hylia's chosen hero in the era of light and dark. At this point in his life, this reincarnation of Link had already protected Hyrule from the reign of Ganon in A Link to the Past. Having tirelessly defended so many innocents, proving himself as the hero of courage, Link then sails the seas to prepare for the next time he is needed. The timeline is a bit complicated here, as originally this game was placed after the Oracle games in the Hyrule Historia. However, this was amended later on, and now Link's Awakening canonically precedes its Game Boy Color counterpart. I was originally hesitant to accept this fact, but the original manuscript for the game explains that, though you fulfilled the Hyrulean prophecy of the legendary hero and destroyed the evil tyrant Ganon, the land of Hyrule enjoyed only a precarious peace. Who knows what threats may arise from Ganon's ashes, the restless people murmured as they knitted their brows and shook their heads. Ever vigilant, you decided to journey away from Hyrule on a quest for enlightenment, in search of wisdom that would make you better able to withstand the next threat to your homeland. It is during this journey across the seas that Link is shipwrecked and drifts to the beaches of the mysterious Koholint Island. This secluded land serves as a fantastical overworld for the new adventure. The interconnectivity of terrains that contain obstacles that require specific items for traversal is pretty standard for a 2D Zelda game, but unraveling the mystery of the island is what really sets this game apart. The main motivation isn't to access the next dungeon to collect the mystical item needed to defeat the looming boss. In fact, there isn't really a main enemy presented as a threat to this land. Instead, the peril is depicted as enigmatic nightmares that appear since your arrival. Because of this, Link is able to see Koholint Island for what it is, a peaceful place with exuberant characters that are just simply living. They are not anxious about an impending cataclysm, and their livelihoods don't appear to be in danger. Link is able to assimilate into the society and grow attached to the people that inhabit this world. I personally think this game has some of the best character writing in the series. This is a core facet of what makes Mabe Village worth protecting. The lively village is filled with people like Popal, who is an eccentric father of 4 who informs Link that he will likely be lost in the mountains later on, which is a hilarious comment that is fulfilled later on in the adventure. Old Man Lurira is a shy elderly man who refuses to talk in person, but will chat Link's ear off over the phone and is incredibly informative. Terran is a protective father that always seems to find himself in trouble, even turning into a raccoon that plays tricks on Link while he attempts to traverse the forest. His daughter, Marin, is the one who saved Link after his shipwreck. She becomes Link's closest companion during his time on the island. She is a talented musician who has a longing to leave the island and share her talents with the wide world. She holds a reticent sadness due to this. During a somewhat romantic conversation on the beach, she opens up and expresses that, if I was a seagull, I would fly as far as I could. I would fly to faraway places and sing for many people. If I wish to the windfish, I wonder if my dreams will come true. All of these characters feel like fully developed pieces of a community, and we feel inclined to protect them and get to the bottom of the secrets that the island holds. We are guided by an owl who speaks in riddles and instructs us to collect the 8 instruments so we can awaken the aforementioned windfish. The windfish is depicted as a slumbering god, resting inside of a colossal egg that is perched upon the northern mountains. For a while this all feels normal enough, but the strangeness of Koholint Island can't be ignored. There is a soporific charm that slowly reveals itself throughout our journey. One of the earliest examples is Bow Wow, who is a chain chomp that is the only way through the swamplands. We see other Mario characters like Goombas, Bloopers, and even a picture of Princess Peach as we explore, further reinforcing the feeling that something just isn't quite right. The owl's directions are ominous and unconfident, even mentioning at one point that he wasn't entirely sure if the instruments actually existed. The nightmare bosses of each dungeon taunt us, insisting that we don't seem to know what kind of island this is and calling us a fool. All of this uncertainty forces us to question the authenticity of the island as a whole. There is a morose sentiment that undermines all of our interactions, and despite the lively characters and locale, we just can't shake the feeling that just something is amiss. Upon arriving at a shrine midway through the game, we find a mural that finally reveals the secret. It reads, "To the finder, the island of Koholint is but an illusion. Human, monster, sea, sky, a scene on the lid of a sleeper's eye. Awake the dreamer and Koholint will vanish much like a bubble on a needle. Cast away, you should know the truth." This perspective-shattering revelation shows that our entire journey has all been within the dream of the deified windfish. We are forced to consider the relationships we've built, the people we've saved, and the happiness we've shared through this new lens. How could this all be the figment of imagination when it all feels so real? How can Marin have dreams if she is the subject of another subconscious? If we do complete our mission and awaken the sleeping giant, are we effectively killing the very ones we have protected, the ones who have protected us when we needed saving? All of these questions spiral as we begrudgingly move forward in our quest. Shortly after this revelation, Link saves Marin in the mountains, and she seems close to expressing her feelings of love before being interrupted by her father. The owl then tells Link that Marin had tried to awaken the windfish herself, completely oblivious to the deeper implications. Likely, she intended to awaken the god figure to ask for the ability to fly from the island, not knowing that she would cease to exist if she was successful. The narrative masterfully forces us to consider the human condition every time we interact with these characters. They aren't one-dimensional reflections of humans. These characters experience yearning, fear, hunger, love, and every other emotion that makes us human. How can what was written in the mural possibly be true? Further, what does this revelation reveal about our hero? Arguably, the entire journey through the windfish's dream serves as a form of escape for Link. He arrives at Koholint Island after recently defeating Ganon, with the knowledge that he will likely have to stand up against the demonic titan again. What he finds when he wakes up in Marin's house is, ironically, normalcy. Mabe Village represents the possibility of a comfortable life with a girl who actually reciprocates his feelings, something that Zelda is often unable to do because of her role in Destiny. Here he doesn't face any overwhelming challenges. Here he can sit on the beach peacefully and share companionship with Marin. The game presents Link at his closest to simply giving up on his fate as the wielder of Triforce of Courage. The manga actually depicts this poignantly, as Link is shown momentarily considering just letting go as he is fighting one of the nightmares, saying that if I fall from here, I won't have any regrets. The nightmares themselves can be perceived as the embodiments of his anxieties and his desire to stay in this new world, avoiding the harsh realities that await if he awakens. Noticeably, in his final clash with the nightmares in the windfish's egg, the boss even takes form of his former foes, such as Moldorm, Aghanim, and even Ganon, serving as a final reminder of what awaits. In essence, Link's time on this soporific island is a battle with existentialism and the ephemeral nature of escapism. Ultimately, Link does decline this dreamlike paradise and accepts his destiny as the hero of courage. He plays the instruments and awakens alongside the windfish, allowing the islands and its inhabitants to slip away into memory. Link regains consciousness with a smile on his face, with renewed resolve to continue moving forward and to meet the world's challenges head-on. However, There's one other person that escaped the dream, as the end credits reveal that Marin's wish was granted. We see her flying away in the horizon, newly reincarnated into a seagull. It's possible her will was so strong, even inside the dream, that the windfish granted her a happy existence in the waking world. I like to think of this detail in the story as a testament to the power of dreams. However, the game serves as a poignant warning that we should not tarry too long within escapism, otherwise we risk losing the ability to actualize these dreams in the real world.